chances are most of your games are going to be on Mirage. So I watched a ton of pro pucks and picked out the highest impact CD angles you can steal for your solo queue games. Let's crank up your CD side after a word from the sponsor. Skinflow is a CS2 marketplace where you can sell skins instantly for PayPal and crypto, buy skins at some of the lowest prices, or trade for something new. Use my code COOK or sign up with the link in the description for an extra 2% cash out bonus. They also run many giveaways with a 4.7 Trustpilot rating. They are a good marketplace. Check them out using the link below. Let's start with an angle I see Kyusuke play again and again, and I kind of researched a lot into this angle and how he plays it and put it into my own perspective. So you want to aim around this area where the shadow meets this pipe. The advantage is when somebody's coming out from here, well, he's not really looking for you, so you have that advantage. Another thing is part of your body is kind of hidden behind this wall, so they are not really going to spray you so easily. And pre-firing all of these positions, because you understand the crosshair placement, is very easy. Any guy jumping on bench, he does not expect you to see him as soon as you do. And you can kind of pre-fire this connector angle as well. And you're kind of changing elevations at 3 levels. Like if you put in a tap in between, it becomes really easy. But you really have to be good at counter strafing. Another thing is, if you're boosting someone here, well, you don't see anyone, but he's getting boosted, then he gets spotted. Molotoving, well, he's ahead of the Molotov and he can kind of spot you do that as well. The best part is you're having this elevation changes when you're counter strafing. So if you just tap a crouch, you're kind of having so many elevation points, just like how your elo fluctuates in solo queue. It's really a nightmare out there. And this position is really what a solo queuer should play. Another thing which I see Mongol players do quite a lot is this. Play this angle, which is kind of an off angle, especially with an op. Now this works when you have some guy watching Palace. So if in your solo queue games you don't have a guy watching Palace, well, playing like this would be idiocy. So I hope that's a word. I don't know if it's a word. So you just shoot here. The reason being, let's say you get a peek here and you shoot someone here. Now you have the option to get aggressive and catch a guy off guard right over here. Or maybe just watch someone cross from ROPS and maybe just fall back defensively when there is time. So it gives you the dynamic option of being kind of aggressive and holding different angles, whereas if you just play ticket, you would not have that option. Now coming over to Mirage, there's one angle people often overlook. So if you're coming out here, either you're just kind of looking at cat, or if you're just kind of jumping out from van, there's a lot of angles that you need to worry about. However, I see less and less people play just default, and people don't understand how powerful this angle is. So first of all, you can kind of just crouch and you have a lot of cover until you have short control. So you can just crouch over here and peek whenever you want. This white dot right over here is your best friend. It allows you to stand up and just kind of counter strafe just like this. You're always going to hit a headshot. So your head is kind of jiggling. You don't even need to move your crosshair. All you need to do is kind of just AD, 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 and just shoot them. So it's really easy when it comes to that. It gives you the extra milliseconds advantage to shoot the guy. Another thing, if you hear some guy drop from window and you kind of don't trust your cat teammate to cover you from the other side, well, you need to realize that this guy is jumping from here. So he's much closer to you than you would kind of expect. So holding an angle like right over here, so you hold it a little wider, not like here, you hold it here. I kind of went into my own demos to realize where I should aim with the ample amount of reaction time. You can go a little bit left if you feel like you have much more faster reflexes. For me, I find the best success rate with holding really, really wide. Then you also have option to kind of just smoke and play around the smoke. Maybe play simple, maybe play just this kind of corner right over here where people are not really going to expect you. So let's say if somebody just jumps out from here, let's say you got 1 or 2 kills and then you kind of dropped your smoke and you're kind of just holding right over here. Now, since we're talking about B side, I need to talk about something which I'm not seeing at all. And I didn't even see in pro games, but I still feel like it's very effective, okay? We used to do this all the time in CSGO, which is just boost over here. And since the self boost is gone, nobody's doing it. So if you could find just one guy to boost you over here, it's really useful in late rounds, like when there's not a rush. You've kind of coming to the 1 minute mark. Now everybody is going to just shift walk and clear angles. And this is really, really powerful. It can net you 1 or 2 kills right over here. And then you just fall back and just play the numbers. So please start doing this again maybe. After a minute mark, just ask your friend to boost you here and rotate maybe. Another thing, when you're coming out from A, you just come out like this. Let's say you're clearing all your angles. Then you clear like this, and then you kind of clearing this. And this is an off angle. This was kind of popularized by Rain. He was the OG of this angle. And a lot of people just copied him. So it gives you an advantage because people, when they come out over here, they're kind of looking at under palace, like they're looking at wood, and it will give you the advantage. One thing to do in mid in solo queue is avoid making this jump if your enemies are coming out faster without any smokes. Rather just go to ladder room and kind of, if you want, just go fast out if they don't expect you. Or you can just hide in ladder room because they're just going to look for cat fights, and if they see nothing, they really don't check ladder room that often. Even at high K, low like 3K, they don't do that quite often. So you just play here. You have a lot of options. You come around from here, and then you can see like it nets you a lot of frags when you know how to play it. Now coming to connector, if your team doesn't know how to play B shot, how to throw the flashes, it can be really a nightmare. You get naded over here, then you get completely smoked. So here are some options. Let's say you don't get naded, you have this smoke. You can throw the donk flash, which is just this flash, and it's a nightmare. You can't dodge it. He does this almost every game, and I love this flash. It's the most useful flash in Mirage. Another flash is just this, right click, which Kyosaki and Donk both throw. This is for picking like anybody coming close to connector. Because of your smoke, the trajectory of the flash is not visible, and it's really powerful. Another thing, let's say you kind of want to get a little bit cheeky, you can aim right over here. Maybe do it with a crouch, it hides you better. I did it without crouching. So do it with a crouch and you can get this angle. But most likely if somebody's going up cat, they're just going to kind of just, smoke off connector completely. They're not going to leave you many gaps. But if they're two, if you feel like there's a gap, you can kind of just jump spot. You don't make any sound because you're bumping your head right on top. But let's just say they nailed the perfect smoke. But from your angle, you can actually kind of shoot the top and get quite a lot of visibility. So you see right over here, and you kind of protected it. You can just go into the cover when you feel like, when you're being shot at, and then again come back. And when you feel like a sufficient amount of people are actually crossing, you can kind of just drop down and just shoot right over here. Now I know a lot of your guys will just say, well, my team doesn't play mid, they don't even flash, they don't do this, they don't do that, and stuff like that. Well, you can take aim in control. Most likely there will be one guy if they're playing heavy mid, either in aim in or palace. So you have to be very vigilant when you do so. Be afraid of showing your toes, and make sure you're not just walking out like this. You clear this right angle even if you're molotoving. Once you take aim in control, there is a very powerful angle right over here, which Flamesy loves to play, by the way. He gets a lot of kills from this angle. So if you walk wide, you show your shadow, and if you walk close, you're naturally clearing this angle. Nobody's expecting you there. So an angle from where you can get a lot of multi-kills, especially in late route, and kind of just close the game. Now this spot is kind of underrated even in solo queue. So you see how far I have to come to see this guy right over here. And if you can convince your upper, say, bro, just shoot a little bit, but after some time just smoke underpass. The reason is you want to show the underpass guy that is kind of empty, and then you can kind of sell it with a molotov as well. The best thing is you can just come out of this smoke and SD molly, because they won't expect you to be right next to a molotov. And you can kind of get just some guys just turning away from you. Really powerful angle, which is going to get you net kills. And a lot of times people just don't go underpass, and you can catch some guys off guard. So these are some angles I wanted to share with you. I know there are a whole lot of angles that exist, but these are some which I researched into properly with better crosshair placements and how to do them in your own solo queue games where you don't have that much coordination. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and watch out for more.
So, you go back.
Short. Go up, guys. Short low.